The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People Summary. The book in 3 sentences. Success encompasses a balance of personal and professional effectiveness. Before you can adopt the 7 habits, you need to change your perception and interpretation of how the world works. See paradigm shift. Between what happens to you and your response to it is your freedom to choose that response. Welcome to another episode of Finnprovement. If you enjoy this type of content, then subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on any of our latest and greatest uploads. The 5 big ideas. Proactive people work on the things that they can do something about. Management is doing things right. Leadership is doing the right things. A paradigm is a way to see the world. We see the world not as it is, but as we are conditioned to see it. To make relatively minor changes in your life, focus on your attributes and behaviors. To make significant quantum change, work on your basic paradigms. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. 1. Be proactive. 2. Begin with the end in mind. 3. Put things first. 4. Think win/win. 5. Seek first to understand, then be understood. 6. Synergize. 7. Sharpen the saw. Leadership is communicating others' worth and potential so clearly that they are inspired to see it in themselves. The character ethic teaches that there are basic principles of effective living and that people can only experience true success and enduring happiness as they learn to integrate these principles into their basic character. To focus on this technique is like cramming your way through school. What you are shouts so loudly in my ears I cannot hear what you say. Thomas Edison. We have many maps in our heads, and each can be divided into 2 main categories: maps of the way things are, or realities, and maps of the way things should be, or values. We interpret everything we experience through these mental maps. We seldom question their accuracy. We're usually even unaware that we have them. We simply assume that the way we see things is the way they really are, or the way they should be. To try to change outward attitudes and behaviors do very little good in the long run if we fail to examine the basic paradigms from which those attitudes and behaviors flow. We see the world not as it is, but as we are, or as we are conditioned to see it. Our paradigms, correct or incorrect, are the sources of our attitudes and behaviors, and ultimately our relationships with others. If we want to make relatively minor changes in our lives, we can perhaps appropriately focus on our attitudes and behaviors. But if we want to make significant quantum change, we need to work on our basic paradigms. Paradigms are inseparable from character. Being is seeing in the human dimension, and what we see is highly interrelated to what we are. Paradigms are powerful because they create the lens through which we see the world. The power of a paradigm shift is the essential power of quantum change, whether that shift is instantaneous or a slow and deliberate process. On practices versus principles. Practices are situationally specific. Principles are deep, fundamental truths that have universal application. Principles are the territory. Values are maps. When we value correct principles, we have the truth, a knowledge of things as they are. Admission of ignorance is often the first step in our education. The way we see the problem is the problem. The significant problems we face cannot be solved at the same level of thinking we are at when we created them. Albert Einstein. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Aristotle. Sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit, sow a habit. Reap a character, sow a character. Reap a destiny. Stephen defines a habit as the intersection of knowledge, skill, and desire. Knowledge is the theoretical paradigm, the what to do and the why. The skill is the how to do, and desire is the motivation, the want to do. To make something a habit in our lives, Stephen explains, we need to have all 3. And with that, we've reached the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video and found it interesting, Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content just like this.